Hi guys, so in today's video we are going to take a look at 5 best D units in tribes. So here I have Ninja Tribes database. Please check this website, it's amazing, has all information that I'm going to use now. So I chose typing all D units. So these are all D units and I have chosen top 5 best D units in my opinion. Now you here see 6 tabs, so we are going to start. So this first one is an honorable mention. So this is not number 5, this is honorable mention. So yeah, that honorable mention is Sage Mode Jiraiya. One of the main reasons why I chose him to be an honorable mention and not number 5 is because his lack of damage. So I decided to put all characters at level 70 of their jutsu skill and trait. So when you compare to other units, his bonus damage here is only 42. Now he has burn, which is good. He has stun, same as Obito, that we'll see later, spoiler alert. And also he has boosting damage for turns, but this condition of having to there needs to be 6 or fewer undefeated allies. That is part that is like one of condition, and conditions are never so great to have on your units. So yeah, that's one of the reasons, plus his lack of damage that he has on AoE. Also, critical suppression rate, it's alright, but guard rate that some units other provide is much better still. So yeah, number 6, or honorable mention, however you want, here is his overall community shinobi ranking. Of course, he lags in FG. So yeah, Jiraiya, won't talk about him so much. So yeah, let's get on unit number 5. So, number 5. He could have been maybe a little bit higher or lower, but Obito, Madara Uchiha, however you want. Now, let's read his skill. So, there's 100% damage plus 151 damage to all active allies enemies. Has 15% chance to stun, basically like Kirin and like Jiraiya. Lowers target's damage increase rate by 18% for the rest of the battle and boosts all allies' damage reduction rate by 25% for 3 turns. So basically, he lowers, so your enemies for the rest of the battle will deal 18% less damage, and your allies for 3 turns will take less damage by almost 25%, which is really good. 3 turns, that's a whole rotation. So really good, really good. Also has chance to stun. Oh, stunning is always good to have. His D unit, very tanky. Now I put him, like I said, on level 70, so that's that. Now his skill deals 100% plus 30% for damage to one enemy, boosts all allies guard rate by almost 50%. Of course, it's only for one turn, but it's 50%, guys. 50% guard rate is so big, like that's really, really good. This, even this alone is really what makes him go above Jiraiya, because guard rate, boosting guard rate by 50% is just incredible. So yeah, really, really good one. Of course, because it's really big, it lasts very short, so I have one third. So yeah, that's that. Now for his trait, boost all active allies damage reduction rate for 26% if user is active at start of the turn. So yeah, your allies will take again less damage. You can combine that with his ninjutsu. So yeah, that's like what, for 3 turns plus this, almost 50% uh, more damage reduction rate. So that's really good. If user active start of the turn, boost allies guard rate again, boosting guard rate again, which is really important, for 17% for the rest of the battle. Guard rate, always good to have. I really like my guard rate. So yeah, that's really good to have. So yeah, he's looking really defensive. Like all these D units are, of course, based around defense, guard rate, damage reduction rate. But I really feel like he can maybe even be higher, but still, for now, no, not a lot of us are using him yet because he's very, very new unit. So I put him on number 5. So yeah, that's it for Obito. Also, his links are very easy to get. Orochimaru, everyone has him, and Kabuto you can buy for Shinobi Exchange Shop. Now, these guys, if you don't have them, that's problem, but you have attack guaranteed. So yeah, that's Obito, really good unit. If you pull him, use him, So yeah, will help guard rate your units and everything. So number 4, unit number 4. So unit number 4 is Sasori. Now, Sasori, I really like Sasori, but I think 3 units above him are better. At least when I use them, I think they are much better than Sasori. So his jutsu, so deals 100% plus 100% and 68, 160, 46%. So you can already see Jiraiya did 42 plus 42 and Sasori does 146 plus. So yeah, that's a whole another level. Damage to all active ally enemies, lowers damage increase rate by 14%, almost 14% for all enemies inflicted with status effect for the rest of the battle. So your enemies will do less damage for the whole battle if and only if the enemies you do this jutsu on have already status effects. So that's the confuse, burn, and everything like that. So if the enemies don't have status effect, this won't work. So that's one big thing about Sasori. So him is best pair him with a debuffer. So best thing is to pair him uh, that he does his ninjutsu after Rin Naruto does his confuse AoE. So yeah, that's really good to pair him with Rin Naruto. Lowers damage reduction rate by 13% for all enemies inflicted again with status effect. So yeah, lowers enemies damage reduction rate and increase rate if they have some status effect on them. Then has 60% chance to poison the enemy and lowers all enemies attack by 17% for 2 turns. This doesn't have to be a status effect, and it's really good because 70% attack is a lot and it's for 2 turns, which is not the craziest amount, but it still helps a lot. Then his unique skill deals 100% damage, plus 30% damage to one enemy, 60% chance to poison. This is like not so great. Like the worst part about him is his unique skill, definitely, in my opinion. Then his trait boosts all active allies damage reduction rate by 25% if user is active at start of the turn. Really good. Damage reduction rate is always good to have. Boost all active allies status rate, effect rate by almost 4% if user is active at start of the turn. So yeah, and boost all active ally status effects suppression rate by almost 4% if user start active at start of the turn. So what does this mean? This means that if he's in active on your rotation, that users that have stun, confuse, burn have for almost 4% more chance to do their effect, and that and here this means that your enemies have less. So yeah, if they had initially 50, now with Sasori debuffing him, they will have what 46%. So yeah, not the biggest amount. That's one of the problems with him. May is much better with these, but it's still good to have. So that's that. I don't know. The more if I see Obito using Obito more, maybe Obito will become better than him. But for now, Sasori is a really good cleaner AOE. So yeah, number 4 Sasori. So now number 3 is Killer B, and it's Killer B 8 Tails mode. So he's damage dealer. So yeah, basically that's that. Deals 100% damage plus 264 to one enemy. Lowers all enemies damage increase rate by almost 16% for 2 turns when HP is 50% or above. So you preferably want him to be faster than your enemy. Of course, you always want that, but with Killer B you want that even more, so they don't do damage on him. Boost all allies guard rate by almost 14% for the rest of the battle, and boost all allies guard damage reduction rate by 16% for the rest of the battle. This is really good, of course. Guard rate, like I said, always good to have. So yeah, he will also deal really good damage uh, on his single target. So yeah, Killer B really good guard rate, and then if your units do guard rate, they have guard damage reduction rate, so even less damage. So yeah, if he helps your units do guard rate, they will take such a little damage. So yeah, let's go. Again, deals 100% plus 30% damage to one enemy, boosts active allies damage reduction rate by 6.38% for the rest of the battle. So, not the craziest amount, of course, but damage reduction rate is always good to have, and it's for the rest of the battle. Every bit of damage reduction rate that you get is always good to have, and when you put him with other units that give damage reduction rate, it stacks, and that's insane for your survivability. Now, his trait boosts all active allies damage reduction rate by 27, almost 27% if the user is active at the start of the turn. So, really good. Again, damage reduction, so that will stack with this one. Boost all allies damage reduction rate by 5% after at the start of any turn after the ally has been defeated. Now, this is I think stackable. Don't quote me on that. I don't understand that, but I think this is stackable. So every turn after enemy ally has been defeated, it will add another 5%. But please don't quote me on that one. But if yes, that's really good. That's really good. So his trait is really helping you survive again. All these units are helping you just survive and tank more and more and more. Of course, you can see here his FG is lacking, but all other areas are really good. And the critical suppression, we didn't talk about limit breaks. I didn't want to talk about them, but yeah, critical suppression rate by 5%, and if you upgrade his level, it's even more. So yeah, defensive debuffer, tank, whatever. So, unit number two is, my opinion, Danzo. Now, I don't think a lot of people will agree with me on here, but I think Danzo is amazing, amazing unit. He's a really good debuffer and does a lot of damage. I use him personally a lot, and he's really, really good, underrated, but really good. So his ninjutsu deals 100% plus 264 damage to one enemy. It's really good, guys. Lowers all enemies damage reduction rate by 11% for 2 turns. So your enemies will take more damage, and boost all allies damage increase rate by 18% for 2 turns. So your allies will do more damage. Boost all allies damage reduction rate by 11% for 2 turns. So then your allies will again take less damage. So this is amazing jutsu, amazing debuff. I always recommend putting him first in your cell. So basically he does insane damage here, not insane, but really good insane damage. Then he lowers defense or damage reduction rate if you want for your enemies. Then he boosts your damage that you will do by increasing your damage increase rate, and then he boosts your tanking ability by giving you damage reduction rate. All of that for 2 turns, which is not the craziest amount, like I said, but it's really still really good. So yeah, Danzo's jutsu is very useful. Then again, deals 100% damage plus 30% damage to one enemy, lowers target's damage reduction rate by 30% for the rest of the battle. Now this is really good. Of course, this is only for one enemy, but still amazing for the rest of the battle. 30%. Basically, when you do ninjutsu on that enemy with, like, I don't know, some other, for example, like Kakashi or something like that, he will do much more damage, 30% more, because the enemy will have 30% less damage reduction rate. So really good unique skill. Now, his trait boosts all active allies damage reduction rate by 25% if user is active at start of the turn. Of course, when he's active, the your allies on that cell, not cell, but that combination, whatever how you call it, will have 25% more damage reduction rate. So they will have even more tanking ability. What I will have to do is put all defensive units together. So you have Killer Bee, Kid Naruto, and Danzo all together on the same cell. And when they stack all of each other's uh, damage reduction rates, and that's amazing. Like, you basically become unkillable. Of course, there are some units that decrease your damage reduction rate, but still amazing. So yeah, this is amazing. Boost all active allies guard rate by 17% if user is active at the start of the turn. Guard rate, if you boost that, combine it with Obito, that stacks. So yeah, really really good. So Obito does his skill, and Danzo has his trait, so that's like 60+% of guard rate. Boost all allies guard damage reduction rate by 17% if user is usually active at start of the turn. So that's basically again like Obito boosting guard damage reduction rate. So yeah, he's good, really good paired with Obito. So yeah, Nuker, offensive buffer, defensive debuffer, debuffer, defensive buffer tank, really good unit. I think Danzo is very underrated unit, very like Boruto, but still really good. So number one, and basically it's Kid Naruto, best D unit in the game. Such a good unit, does insane damage. Basically, when you put in team, your team becomes really really tanky. So yeah, that's that. Deals 100% damage plus 264 damage to one enemy and deals 32% extra damage to attack shinobi. They basically, because he's D, he does even more damage, but now with this he does extra damage to attack shinobi. So attack shinobi will take so much damage for this guy. Then he boosts all allies damage reduction rate by 20% and guard rate by 27% for 3 turns. Crazy. Like, this is amazing. 30% for the 3 turns. This guy is so good. Like, his ninjutsu, like, you can maybe be like, oh, that's just two things in it's just one sentence, but this is so big. Like, guard rate by 30% for the 3 turns and 20% of damage reduction rate. But that's, you stack with other units, that becomes so good. So then his unique skill, this 100% plus 30% to one enemy, boosts all active allies damage reduction rate by 30%, 13% for the 2 turns. Okay, that's good amount for 2 turns. Again, never underestimate the power of damage reduction rate to make you survive. Then his trait boosts all active allies damage reduction rate by 25% to user is active start of the turn. Like, just imagine putting all these units together, this stacking damage reduction rate everywhere. Just incredible. Boost damage reduction rate by 22.76% and guard rate by 25% for user and all allies on the same 3-man cell for the rest of the battle. Crazy. Because if you put him on the same cell as Danzo and Killer B or some other D unit, Obito, whatever, if you listen to what I was saying, all the buffs and boosts these units gave each other with damage reduction and guard rate, imagine plus this for the rest of the battle, it's crazy. It's basically tanky. Like, it's so tanky. These guys are so tanky when they combine each other's abilities. So yeah, that's why this guy has, for 3 turns, does insane damage, really good percentages. Same here for the rest of the battle, and good percentages, deals good damage. That's why I put him above everyone else. And I assume that everyone summoned these guys Ben, so probably a lot of you have him, and also his Bible. So really good. Now his attack link, it's a little bit, I don't know, if you didn't put Sasuke, it's a little bit hard to do. I mean, he will still do damage, but without Sasuke, he'll do less damage. But yeah, guys, this video, I chose the units first because they are easiest one to choose which units will be in top 5 because they have least units, and these 5 are like all last units basically. A units, it will be so hard to choose which one are top 5 best. So yeah. Also guys, attack not attack, subscribe and like. See you in the next video. Bye.